Hi, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. Just making this recording as the day went on today. I just started not feeling too well, so hopefully I don't need to show this and I start feeling better tomorrow. But just in case, I thought I'd make this video, just in case I'm not here tomorrow. All right. So today we finished the milk lab. All right. So hopefully you guys were able to record the mass of your final product, which would give you the amount of protein. All right. And finish that lab. So now you can find the percent of water, percent of protein, percent of carbs. All right. And just hold on to that paper. Hopefully I'll be back sometime soon. All right. And then after that, we talked about how to calculate the mole. What is the mole? All right. So what I'm actually going to do today is I'm going to present my screen. All right. Now you can probably see two of me. That's scary. All right. So anyway, yesterday we talked about calculating the moles. So hopefully you can see my piece of paper. Ooh, we're stepping it up a little bit. All right. We talked about how to get from moles to like 1 mole is the same. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see. 1 mole is the same as Avogadro's number, which was 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. All right. Now, today, what we're actually going to look at is how to get to mass. How do we get to mass? Moles to mass. Okay. We're going to look at that conversion factor. Okay. So, if you guys can get out your guided notes, we're just going to take a little bit of notes today, and then we'll get into our practice. All right. So, I'm going to present this. Well, let's do this slideshow. There we go. Look at that. Now we're really stepping it up. All right. Dual screen. All right. So if you guys got your guide notes out, go ahead and follow along. If you need to pause at any point, please go ahead and do so. All right. After today, you should be able to calculate molar mass and convert that to moles and vice versa. All right. So atomic mass is on the periodic table is the mass of a single atom. All right. So for example, if you look up at my periodic table, the mass of hydrogen is 1.00794. The one below that, lithium, is 6.941. That's the atomic mass. All right. Carbon is 12.01. Where the molar mass is the mass of 1 mole of a substance. All right. It is equal to the atomic mass in grams. All right. For example, 1 mole of carbon is 12.01 grams. Right? So the same thing. It's practically the same exact thing. All right. So let's go over an example. All right, here we go. We got, what is the molar mass of aluminum sulfide? All right. So if we look at this, aluminum 2s3. All right. So you got to look at the periodic table to find the molar mass. If you look for aluminum is element 13. It is 26.98154. If it's all right with you, I'm going to round to 27. Its mass is 27, but I have 2 of those. So 27 and 27. All right. Sulfur. I'm going to round sulfur. It has a mass of 32, but it has 3 of those. All right. So what is the molar mass of this substance? Well, you're going to have 27 plus 27 plus 32. I got my answer to be 150 grams. So you just got to look at the periodic table and see what is the mass of each one in grams. All right. And we were pretty close. All right. So that is the amount of 1 mole of that substance. All right. Let's try another one. Now there's parentheses, so you got to use the distributive property. So you have Ba3, PO4, parentheses 2. Well, since there's parentheses, that means I have 2 P's. All right, so that means I have 2 P's. And that means I have 8 oxygens. All right, so if we look at barium, barium has a mass of 137.33. I'm going to say 137 times 3 bariums. How many phosphorus is? Phosphorus is about 31. And I only have 2 of those. And oxygen is 16 on the period. Mass is 16, and I have 8 of those. All right, those are all multiplication. All right, and once you do that, your final answer for molar mass should have been 600, around 602. So 1 mole of that, all of this, 1 mole of that weighs 602 grams. Right? Now, yesterday, what we did was we converted moles to atoms. All right, but now we're going to do moles to mass. All right, so in order to do this, what is the mass of 1.33? So the question is, what is the mass of 1.33 moles of barium, Ba3, PO4, 2? Okay. So we're going to do a little cross multiply divide. All right, so I'm going to put this big screen so you can see it. All right, so I'm going to have mass up here. Well, I just calculated the mass of that. Let me grab my other paper. I just calculated the mass. That was 602. All right, that was my previous problem, 602 grams. So the mass is 602 for 1 mole of that substance. All right, so all you got to do is cross multiply and divide. All right, so you're going to multiply 1.33 times 602 and divide by 1. Okay. So your answer should have been about 801 grams. All right. So as you can see, it's about the same thing as yesterday. All right. Same thing, like cross multiply and divide. But in this, instead of using Avogadro's number, we're not using that anymore. We're not using this yet. All we're focused on is this zone. All right, you got to find the mass of the elements on the periodic table. All right, so try this one out. All right, if you want to pause the video, go ahead and do so. But I'm going to work it out here real quick. All right, you have, oh, I did not mean to do that. 157.8 grams. So that's my mass, is how many moles of CaCl2. All right, well, to solve this, I need to know what is the mass of 1 mole of CaCl2. Well, I got to look at the periodic table. Calcium weighs about 40. Chlorine weighs about 35. All right, so I have 2 of those, so that makes 70. Plus 40 is 110. So if I cross multiply and divide, you should be able
Jack
to
Hoffman,
get your
can you please
answer.
come to the receptionist desk? Jack Hoffman to the receptionist desk.
What your answer should end up. 1.4, around 1.4. Okay. All right, so hopefully that made sense. All right, we're going to practice a little bit. All right, so if you guys could log into Google Classroom, I posted a little activity about the mole of graphite. So you're going to do the same conversions, but you're going to be doing a little experiment, all right? And I want you guys to do this on your own, all right? Do not work with a group. I want you guys to do this on your own, all right? If you need paper, I have paper in the sulfur container or sulfur cabinet on the side of my room. If you need pencils, I got pencils. But try the mole activity out, all right? Mole of carbon, and do the cross multiply and divide, all right? So if you have questions, please feel free to ask. I'll try to be checking my emails frequently as possible. Like I said, hopefully I don't need this video, but if I do, I hope you guys have a phenomenal day. You guys are awesome, and we'll see you as soon as I can.